notes. It's a good time to take notes here. I am going to pop some things on the screen for you, though. Let me put my chat overlay here so I can make sure if there's any comments, they'll display there. I'm going to see if they actually display there. I can see them, but let's get started. 5 steps. And so we're talking about monetizing your skill set. Step number one, let's see if I can do this. Where are you at? Here we go. Step number 1, what's your why? I don't know why that looks like that capital R. What's your why? Why do you want to start a business? What's your why? I want you to list out some reasons of why you want to start a business. And let me tell you this before you start listing them or before you put them in the chat. You can even put them in the chat. That would be great. But before you start doing that, 90%, I'm not even going to say 90%. If you have 3 reasons, 2 have to be self-centered. If you have 5 reasons, 3 need to be self-centered. And why am I saying this? Because helping professionals, that's you, public health practitioner, that's you, nurse, that's you, social worker, respiratory therapist, counselor, etc., CHW, we always want to help other people. Okay? We want to save the world. We want to speak up for those that don't have a voice. We want to do all this other stuff for other people. And I'm going to tell you at the end of the day, there's going to be some trying days and you're not going to care about nobody else. And you're going to want to close down your business. I'm speaking from experience. I also have a nonprofit that I co-founded 3 years ago. I just stepped down as president. I got really burnt out, right? Had the best intentions, but you get really, really burnt out. And so I give people permission, and that's why I'm saying I'm giving you the permission to be selfish. It's okay if you want to start your business because you want to make money. It's okay that you're starting this business because you want to build legacy. It's okay that you're starting this business because you want freedom and you want flexibility, okay? All of those things are okay, and it's okay if those come before helping people. Let me say it again. It's okay if your selfish reasons, if you think that they're selfish, come before helping people. That's completely fine. But I want you to write down at least 3 to 5 reasons why you want to start your business. And even though this seems very menial, let me tell you it is not. I did a master class a couple of years ago on the same topic. My baby sister was in there, and I come from a family of educators. My sisters were teachers. My dad was a teacher. My aunt's a professor. And she said, after that 2-hour session, I realized I don't really want to start a business. I don't want to start a business at all. She said, I just wanted to start a business because it was trendy. Everybody's doing it. Everybody has a side hustle. She said, but now after talking, sitting through the workshop and talking to you, I don't even want to do it anymore. So really think about that, because it's going to be some hard days when you have to go back and say, why am I doing this after all? Do I really want this? Or is it because somebody else wants me to do it? Or is it other people are counting on me now. I've started this. Now other people are counting on me, and now I have to continue it. Okay. I love the comment. I want the freedom to work on projects that are meaningful to me. Yes. And to allow me to create work-life balance as a single mom. Thank you so much for being, just for acknowledging that you want to do what's meaningful for you. That's the whole purpose of starting your own business. I terminated a contract with a subcontractor last month because I didn't want to work with her. Well, she actually breached the contract too. But I remember telling my husband, I didn't go into business for myself, so I had to work with people that I didn't like. You do that when you work for somebody else. I went into business for myself so I can pick and choose who I want to work with. So it's a lot of advantages that come in it, but please, think about that. That's the first thing that I want you to do, and keep them coming. I see some people typing in there. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and go to the second one. Number 2, what are you good at? What are you really, really, really good at? What comes easy to you that does not come to other people? What do you get asked repeatedly? What are your best skills and expertise? Okay. What do you love to talk about for hours and hours on end that you lose track of time talking about it? What do you love so much that you would do for free? Let me tell y'all, that is really the key. That is really the secret. I've been on a lot of podcasts, and I've been asked that question so many times. Like, what would you tell a new grad? Or what would you tell somebody just getting started, and it's always the same thing. Do what you love doing so much you would do it for free, then charge. It's simple. That's it. Do what you love doing so much you would do it for free, then figure out a way to charge for it. That's actually, if I wanted to say how to monetize your skill set in a nutshell, that's the one liner. Do what you love, then figure out a way to charge for it. Okay? I'm loving these whys in the chat. I'm loving these whys. So that's your second thing. That's your second homework step. What are you good at? Identify what are you good at. And that's not just, that's your passion, right? But that's also your educational skill set. And we'll break that down a little bit too. The third thing you have to do when you're monetizing your skill set, identify who will you serve? Who are you going to serve? Who do you want to serve? And let me tell you something. It cannot be everybody. Nope. It cannot be everybody. The first 5 months of Remember Health, I did chronic disease education, specifically diabetes. But I would have workshops on diabetes, diabetes prevention, because I was doing the DPP program at the time, hypertension, and kidney disease. Every month I would have workshops. Sometimes nobody was there but my mama, my daddy, and one of my sisters maybe, right? But of course, I was just starting my business. I had to start from somewhere. I wanted to serve everybody. Everybody needs this education. Everybody needs this information. I can save the world. I can do all things. I wasn't making any money, right? They say there's riches in the niches for a reason. That's why you see health coaches say, I help women do this. I help men do this. I help nonprofits do this, right? So you have to identify not only your market industry, right, but your target audience. So for Remember Health, my market industry is public health organizations and healthcare systems. But what's my target audience? Most of the time, my target audience is community health workers, or it might be the leadership, or it could be, depending on the organization, front line, whoever's on the front line. Maybe that's the front of the office, the medical assistant, the whoever. Who are you going to serve? For QU or Quisha Member Consulting, that's helping professionals. I group that in. Your doctor, nurse, pharmacist, whatever it is, if you're considered a helping professional, that's who I serve, because once you identify who you serve, it's going to help you market and tailor your message better. Okay. When I first started, I said I want to work with small to medium-sized organizations. They have a certain amount of budget. They have a certain amount of staff. Now that I have more capacity, that has changed. I can work with major organizations. It just depends on what the project is. So identify who you're going to serve. And I want to look at some of these comments before we go a little bit further. These are really good comments, and thank you so much for engaging. It really helps me teach better. So Demi says, I'm good at process improvement and building relationships with community and organizations, consulting all day, every day. Michelle says, the intersection of public health and tech. Okay, that sounds like money, Michelle. I'm in the process of starting my nonprofit for it. Also, digital health research. That's what I want to start a business for. Again, that sounds like a lot of money and investors. Keisha says, I want to gain more public health experience in maternal and child health, flexibility, and extra income. And Keisha, I'm always looking for RFPs. There are a lot of opportunities right now with maternal and child health. So that would be a really excellent field for you to specialize in. So that's what you want to do. Now, let me tell you how this, how this all comes together and makes sense. And I actually do need to share my screen for this. So let me turn it back on so that you can see it. What you want to do next is you want to find your sweet spot. Find your sweet spot. What is your sweet spot? Your sweet spot is where your knowledge, your passion, and your client needs meet. Okay, I mean, you've probably seen this. I think it's called a Venn diagram before. All coaches teach the same thing. This is nothing that I created, but this is what helped me. You're probably going to have to do this several times, right? I have done this several times. Sometimes it changes, but this is what you want to do before you get started, because you never want to go into business doing something that you're not absolutely passionate about. You obviously don't want to be a consultant and portraying any kind of expertise if you don't have the knowledge and the background and the skill set for it. So write down all of that alphabet soup, all of those credentials, Write down all of those training programs, all of those courses that you've taken. Write that all down in the knowledge circle. Then write down your passion. Yes, I know you love helping people. Everybody that hears the sound of my voice or that watches this replay later loves helping people. But what specifically are you passionate about? And now write down your client's needs or the market industry that you've identified or the target audience that you've identified. And here's the kicker. This is really how you know you would be a consultant worth your salt. A lot of times, your client doesn't know what they need. They don't know what they need. A lot of times, you have to tell them what they need. You have to be the one to tell them and identify what's missing and help them see that. So write down not only what they need, but what's missing from the industry, what's missing from the agency, what's missing from the intervention as well. And then as you continue to do the exercise, you will hone in on something that makes the most sense. Oh, somebody said I'm great with curriculum development. That's on my list. I have speaking and training, curriculum development, all of that stuff on my list. And then what do I love to do? I love to speak. I love to train. I love to mentor. I love to coach. What do my clients need? The clients that I serve, public health organizations, healthcare systems, nonprofits, those individuals, they need their staff trained. They need continuing education. They need upskilling and reskilling and new skilling. Well, look at there. I just happen to love teaching and training people, right? So that's how you find out what you love to do, what you're good at, and how you can serve your clients. Okay? All right. So the fifth and the final, and let me go back to just looking at myself now. The fifth and final is where the real work begins. And that's where you need to start planning. You need to start doing your market research, figuring out how you're going to serve your clients, what solutions you're going to offer for them. A lot of that's not necessarily going to come out until you do your research, right? Until you validate your business ideas. And we're actually going to do a business idea validation session in a couple of weeks. I believe it's the third series. So, survey some potential clients. Survey your friends, survey family, ask them, hey, if I was doing XYZ, would this be valuable to you? If you have a trusted person on your job even that you can ask. You can do market research, see what others are doing as well. You can research social media hashtags, Google what is trending, join Facebook and LinkedIn groups. LinkedIn is really good for kind of knowing things business related. Read books, read reviews. Do what you can to about, because the last thing you want to do is create a service or create a business. And a lot of times you get the Facebook and the handles and the social media and you get the website, God forbid. I do this. I jump straight out and get a website, which is not something you absolutely need when you're starting out. And it's not one of those things where if we build it, they will come. It doesn't work like that. If I build it or if I put it out here, people will come. It doesn't work like that. So, so start doing those things to make sure that there's actually a need for your particular services. One of the ways that I got started first was research I'm not going to say competitors, which is really good. You should research your competitors. But I researched companies I aspired to be. I looked at public health agencies and what they were doing. And I said, you know what? I don't have the capacity to do, these things that they're doing, but I do have the capacity to do these. And I really like the way they're doing that. And I think I did that for about 6 or 7 organizations. Actually, how my name came to be Remember Health as well, because I started seeing Vita Health and Oscar Health and all these other organizations that were called something health, and so I said, well, I'm just going to call it Remember Health. And so that's the first thing. Research companies or organizations you aspire to be, see what they're doing. Research any lookalikes or competitors. Now, if you ask me who my competitors are, I'm not being cocky. I'm just going to say I don't have any. I don't have competitors because nobody out there is doing it like I'm doing it, right? But in reality, there are some people that offer some of the same services that I have. Research those organizations as well. Don't steal their ideas, Compare and contrast your business idea with their services. Don't copy them. Just get inspired by them. Put a unique spin to them. Make it something that's different and innovative and something that's your own. Okay. Training and teachings are also my strength. Excellent. Thank you. Who said that? You're literally my favorite. I appreciate that. All right. So let me get to tip number 6. Tip number 6, get to work. Get to work. Get to work. For those of you that have been kind of maybe freelancing before, you know, there's a way for you to figure out how much you're going to charge and different things like that. I want to speak specifically to those that have not gotten started yet. Be prepared to give your gifts away when you first get started. I know that is controversial. You hear some coaches and consultants that tell you don't do anything for free. I'm a keep it real person. I'm not gonna hire somebody that has no experience. If you don't have a speak, like if I have a women's event or conference or something, you don't have a speaker reel, you haven't spoken at any other events, no, I haven't gotten, any reviews or word of mouth, you don't come highly recommended. I may give you the opportunity to speak, but I'm not necessarily going to pay you for it. Now that's just how I am, and that's how most people are in the world. And so I know when I first started out, I would reach out to individuals and say, would you be interested in this? I'm doing it at a discounted rate, or in exchange for me doing this, I would love a review or testimonial. Okay. So be prepared in the beginning to give your gifts away, because you've got to build their portfolio. Can you barter gifts? Barter services? Absolutely. So maybe you have a friend that's also trying to be a consultant or trying to start a business. Maybe there's something you can offer for them, they can offer for you. You both write each other reviews, and that way you can get started. If you go to my website right now, quishamember.com, half of those reviews at the bottom of that homepage at the bottom, those are people that I've worked with before. Half of those are. But it's also people that I've provided services for, I've done things for. So they had no problem giving me those testimonials and those reviews. So just know that sometimes you will have to give your gift away. I was trying to see if there was anything else in my notes that I wanted to talk about here. And I guess I'll talk about this just for those of you that have been in business for a while. And maybe you're wondering how much to charge. And so I want to talk about this just because it's been asked a couple of times this week.